um, had things keeping me from actual work for a while now. Let's kill that. No! It's dark in here. Darth Vader will show up momentarily. Okay. But having to make up for a lot of stuff today. I normally would like to go visit my friends a little bit and do this and do that and piddle. And I did all that for the last week or so. Today I've been up to my eyeballs in stuff. I've already had 2 conference calls. Just a second. I've got to get everything done today, including this evening. I've got to get my clothes set out for a funeral tomorrow. Linda and I are going to my Aunt Dorothy's funeral. And I guess what I'm saying, I would like to go to prophecy class tomorrow night. I'm not going to get to. I have an obligation to loved ones. It's a 2-hour trip. Actually, it's a 2-hour and 20-minute trip to go to our family church in Ringling, north of Ringling, and then it's another 30 minutes to get to the cemetery. I don't know. I believe Dorothy's going to be married at the family cemetery at Cornish, Oklahoma. I have kinfolks that I've not seen in a long time. Tomorrow I need to do that. I don't know if my brother Chris is going to make it. McAllister, that is a 4-hour trip for him to come from McAllister to where the funeral is. I don't know if my brother has the stamina in him or not. He's got congestive heart failure and has to have fluid removed from his lungs again. I'll call him here after a while and just let him know if your health's not up to it, don't bother. You know, if Linda's health is not up to it, she's not going. But she is extremely close to my relatives on my late mother's side of the family. So she'll go. I have a ton of stuff I've got to do today and stuff I have to do tomorrow morning, and then Fridays are extremely hard on me, and this in 2 days Friday's going to be brutal. And so I won't be doing a vlog tomorrow. I won't be doing one Friday. It will probably be Saturday before I can do one again. I don't know. Linda and Aurora are in the house with Cheyenne and Ashton, maybe the Littles, also known as Tigger and Zara Rose. Benjamin is over there at his house trying to repair a radiator hose on his car. I'm in here working. On top of everything else, I've got a really bad headache, so if you'll excuse me, I'm going to take 4 ibuprofen. The headache is getting worse. It's just stress. I'm not stressed. Not me. Actually, I don't. Stress has to sneak up and catch me unawares. I have a tendency to maintain my composure and control at all times if I can. No! Okay, I'll shut up. I'm a little bit punch drunk today. I did not sleep that much last night. I'm not worried about anything. I just didn't sleep much. Linda was up fairly late too. Just a second. She's not feeling well, and what in the world? Let me think what that goes to. Doesn't go to that. Yeah, it does. And that is to get information off the digital recorder. There are so many things that I want to do that I can't get to, that is making me growly. I want to fly my drones, haven't got to do that yet. I want to start recording my music, I haven't got to do that yet. I have 2 buddies that are taking over Fun Valley, and I want to talk to them about helping them with their commercials free of charge. I'm not going to charge them for anything any more than I charge Jerry. Ain't going to happen. But my new friend Mike Deoust is evidently an expert at flying drones. He's got the expensive variety. Nick's got an expensive one in his bedroom. We've never flown it. Mine are the $20 and $30 variety. Well, they probably cost more than that, but I got them from a friend of mine that shipped them to me at cost. Haven't gotten back a hold of him about some other stuff I have need of. And yes, I'm wearing overalls again today. I'm doing my vlog. Come on in, son. My second youngest son, Benjamin, showed up. How's it going on your car?
I got it fixed. Kind of surprised, but I actually got it fixed, yeah.
Do me a favor, stand up and sweep the piece of cheese off of that unless it's stuck to your clothes.
What piece of cheese?
Well, I had a pizza in here.
Is it on that seat?
Yeah, I had a hamburger pizza for breakfast and lunch.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is, you know.
Nothing wrong with pizza for lunch.
Gives me protein and carbohydrates and cheese, which is a food group all in itself. Cheese is.
Anyone doesn't believe that, they're lying to themselves.
That's right.
Well, I love you. I'm gonna get back out there.
Okay, I'll be done with this, and I got to get back to work.
All right.
I love that boy. Of course, I love that boy. He's my son. You know, love all my sons. Love my grandbabies. I wish that I could just do nothing the rest of the day. Oh, I wish I could go take a nap. That would be fun, but that's not happening. Alf, who the heck do you think you are over there nodding off and sleeping? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Well, here, listen. Right there. See? That's Alf. That's Alf, trying to nap. Sitting on top of my synthesizer keyboard, trying to nap. He doesn't have the right to do that. Man, I must be tired. Oh well. You know, Yellen that's in charge of the Federal Reserve is now saying that inflation has run away. what did they expect? They set aside everything that the previous administration put into place to help stabilize our economy. You can't, you know, back in 1973, 74, something like that, I can't remember, it might have been later, might have been earlier, there was a young man that wrote a book, and it never made it to the, and it wasn't Travels with Charlie, that was by a news pundit. No, I can't remember this kid's name, but he hitchhiked and backpacked all the way across America from one coast to the other, and then from the southern tip of Texas all the way up to the Canadian border. It took him 2 years to make the journey, and he wasn't broke, and he was surprised at the generosity of others, but he made a statement that is still true. And anybody that doesn't understand that, it's a symbiotic relationship between these companies and the American citizens. Big oil runs America. It does. And if you have oil prices out of control, and inflation just shooting those prices on up there, it's going to get to the point, okay, in the northeast coast, diesel is already at almost $9 a gallon. It's at almost $6 a gallon here in Oklahoma in certain places. It's actually, in certain areas of Oklahoma City, it's over $6 a gallon. The folks that have those businesses have to make a profit. And if they're not making a profit, they're not in business. Profits run a business. When I had a sign business, especially, I had a big one up in Oklahoma City for a while. Big for me anyway. And I did billboards, and I did signage, and I did little this and little of that. But it was a well-rounded sign business. But I had that up there for a couple of 3 years, something like that. And I remember one thing I learned. Actually, I should say that my late father and I had it. We had a couple of buildings we leased, and well, one building, and then one of the guys we were working for had another one next door, and we used it. But here's the bottom line on that. One thing Dad and I noticed when we were doing signage up there, invariably someone would go into business and they would close up a year later, 2 years later. You have to be able to sustain a direct loss, capital-wise, while you're building your business. This is especially true with restaurants. I've seen so many restaurants fail due to they go in there, they hustle up some money somewhere, they open a restaurant, and they don't service the debt. They owe money, they open it, and in a restaurant you see large volumes of cash start coming in. People are going to eat out. It's convenient, and it's enjoyable for the most part. You have to make a profit. The rule of thumb on a restaurant, you have to garner at least minimum 14% profit over what. That's after you pay for your supplies, pay your help, pay your overhead, everything. You have to have 14% left over. That's a minimum. A guy named Nathaniel Ellsworth came up with that formula, and that's someone none of you've ever heard of. But he was a Rutgers economist way back in the 20s. And no, it wasn't Rutgers. It might have been Yale. I don't remember. I'm getting old and feeble-minded. Yeah, really I am. But he tabulated all that, and he figured it all out. And back when he was doing that study, for a restaurant to make $20,000 a year gross, that means they were walking in tall cotton. Kind of gives you a picture of the inflation that's taking place right now. And you've got folks that are running the Federal Reserve and running different governmental business oversee agencies that do not know anything about business. You know, there's an old axiom: those that can do and those that can't teach. Can't teach. Those that can't teach. Yeah, I'm tired, can't you tell? But that still holds true. It reminds me of a movie with Rodney Dangerfield, Back to School. And he's a billionaire, but he's going back to school to get a college degree, and there's a professor of economics in there explaining how to do business, and he uses widgets as a, you know, an imaginary product, and they go into all these detailed assumptions about business and what you've got to do. Ellsworth didn't do that. Nathaniel Ellsworth actually went to businesses and interviewed business owners. He interviewed long-term business owners, and that's how he figured out. And he had people that agreed to let him, just a second. He had business owners that agreed to let him see their books. And it was a very candid, detailed set of articles he wrote. The point I'm making is, right now, we've got people in the government that do not have a clue as to what it takes to go ahead and successfully operate a business. You've got them on all different levels, and normally on small town governments and county governments, it's always that. Someone's got their hand out wanting you to grease their palm to go ahead and make it function better, to make your being in business function better. And when you try to go ahead and do it right, a lot of times these folks get in the way and they won't let you do it right. That is a problem. I've had that happen to me a couple of times in days back. I mean, in 35, 40 years ago, I had guys do it. My solution then will get you put into prison now, but I had people trying. It's basically strong-armed robbery, and I won't say what I did on a couple of occasions, but it smoothed everything right out, and I went ahead and did business anyway. The big factor in that still taking place is the same problem that's always been there in business, and that's greed. You get folks that get placed into a governmental position where they have a little bit of authority over someone, and suddenly they're in charge and they're large, and you better do it their way. And that's the first aspect of it. They go ahead and they have an ego trip, and suddenly they've got to be all powerful. And the second thing after that is these same folks, sooner or later they get to the point, you want this to go away, you get money to me and I'll make it go away. Nowadays, the one real cure for that is one of these or one of these. Because if you record everything said, then you can get the monkey off your back. It doesn't matter who you're dealing with in business, that needs to happen. Both parties need to and you need to let them know, unless you're trying to trap somebody and send them to jail. Let them know this conversation is being recorded. If you don't want it to be recorded, we can't do business. But usually the best way to do it, especially when you have a corrupt city council or a corrupt county commissioner or a corrupt sheriff or corrupt police department, whatever, is to not let them know you're recording them. And that way you can make them sweat later, especially if you go to someone in higher authority. The problem is the corruption today, politically, economically, business-wise, is so rampant, it's hard to get around it. We are in the last days. I mean, we're in the final hour, I think. I hope not, but I think we probably are. And again, I hope we are, because then suddenly, boom, it's all over with. I have other friends, rather than those that are here locally, that I'm helping a little bit today, that are having a similar situation as to some stuff going on here locally. It's one of the things I'm doing today, and it's another freebie. I make plenty doing the stuff I actually charge for. This is helping someone, and it's a bit bothersome, and I'm absolutely not at liberty to talk to anyone about it. They're not in Oklahoma. I can't even tell my wife, because she knows the other party, and I'm not going to play a guessing game and, well, is it so and so? That's not going to happen. But I'm helping one of my friends, long-term friends. You know, what happens is if I were to do things the way I used to do it, it would really create a much bigger and worse problem, not just for me, but for my spouse, my children, my grandchildren. So I have to behave myself now. Yeah. Can't say I'm happy about it, but you know, it is what it is, and it is what I have to do. And you know, it's kind of like God blessing me in my old age. It's not a curse. Blessing me with bad health and in physical infirmities to keep me in line, because my Father in heaven loves me and my Savior loves me, and they keep me like that physically. It keeps me in line. It makes me behave. Sometimes, you know, you got a horse, and the horse is a little bit wild, and you've got it green broke, pretty much saddle broke. You put a chest strap on and you put a snub line up to its chin so it can't throw its head back. And then if it starts what I call crow hopping, you just pull that rein around one side or the other and keep its head back toward you until it learns that you're in charge. And I'm kind of like that errant horse. And so my God lovingly keeps me on a chest strap and a snubbing line to keep my head from throwing back. And you know, I've had to ride horses with that. I've had to ride them with a buck strap back behind the cinch. It's all good though. It's making me a kinder and gentler Popsicle. Yeah, that's my name, Popsicle. Now, before I get off of here and go back to doing stuff I'd rather not be doing, I want you to read that sign right there. It says, "Be kind." There's a lot to be said in those two words, that phrase, two-word phrase, be kind. It's something we all need to practice doing. But anyway, I love all of you watching this, and I want God to bless you. And I'm getting ready to go ahead and get back to it. I'm hoping I can get out of here by 4 o'clock. I would like to. I'd like to go put my lounge lizard clothes on and sit with my sweetheart and visit and watch stuff on the television in the parlor. Hopefully I'll get to do that. I'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I love you. God bless you. Be kind, and bye.